There is a ticking time bomb in the cryptocurrency market right now, and we have about 24 hours before something big could happen. Now, I'm not saying to go out and short everything right now, but I am making a bet on the market right now, and I'll tell you about that later. It is a leverage bet as well, which I don't typically do, but I think there is potential downside from here. Now, we have to cover some of the FTX contagion that continues to spread and some of the news that continues to come out. We have the big event that's happening in 24 hours that you want to hear about. And we also have to cover the one piece of good news that I can see in the market over the last 24 hours or so. So if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, I appreciate that. There's also a link under the video to moomoo in case you want some free stocks. They have the best deal that they've ever had with the link under the video. So check that out, deposit some money. FTX continues to collapse. We continue to hear more and more about their collapse, I should say. And we have the new CEO saying that they've never seen such a complete failure of corporate controls and such a complete absence of trustworthy financial information as has occurred here. And we've heard so much about this, right? We've heard about employees that were never accounted for. We've heard about budgets being approved through emojis on IMs. We've heard about orgies and all types of things here, and commingling of work and home. More continues to come out. Some FTX employees were paid an FTT token. That's really sad for all those employees. We also heard Sam Bankman-Fried took $300 million when FTX raised $420 million in October last year. So it continues to get worse and worse, hearing more and more about what FTX was doing. We also have heard why that lawyers have stopped working with Sam Bankman-Fried. Incessant and disruptive tweeting was the reason for them stopping their work with FTX representation. That makes sense because typically lawyers are willing to work with people that have committed fraud, but this obviously is a different scenario altogether. And we also know that there was a lot of money that was stolen from FTX after they declared bankruptcy, or right before. I forget the timeline exactly, but about $400 to $600 million was stolen. Now, there's some news on that hack. They are dumping Ethereum on the market, so they converted all the crypto to Ethereum. Here you can see the effect of the Ethereum being dumped on the open market, and they still have a lot more Ethereum right now. So basically what they're doing is they're trading or they're converting Ethereum to wrapped Bitcoin to Ren Bitcoin, and some people are arbing to get a premium and refilling the liquidity for the hacker. Could take a while to get through this 200,000 Ethereum, but you can see it is really hurting the overall Ethereum price. Now, for anyone that thinks that because of what happened with FTX, we'll never get to the same place in the cryptocurrency market, that's true. We're never going to be at the same place, but hopefully that's for the better. Hopefully more people self-custody and have a little bit more, are a little bit more cautious when putting crypto on exchanges, and a little bit quicker to take it away if there is some bad news. But if you think Bitcoin is gone, that's not true. Looking back at Mt. Gox, they accounted for about 70% of Bitcoin transactions at the peak. FTX was right around 10%. So we can definitely make it through this. Now, we did get some news on DCG. So a lot of people have been wondering what's going to happen with this. And if you haven't heard about this, I posted a couple of videos on it. But basically, DCG is a massive company that has Grayscale, CoinDesk, and also Genesis underneath them. And Genesis and GBTC, or Grayscale, I should say, are really important. Genesis provides a bridge between these large accredited investors and funds, and they also are helping a lot of different platforms with getting yield, like Gemini. So they are connecting a lot of different people in the cryptocurrency market, and if they go BK, which it sounds like they are having a difficult time, they halt their withdrawals, then it could affect and spread throughout a ton of players in the market. So it's a very scary time. And if Grayscale starts dumping Bitcoin, they hold a 600,000 plus bag of Bitcoin. So that could be very bad as well. Now, we did get some news, and this is just kind of rumor at this point, but apparently DCG owes $1.1 billion to Genesis via a previously undisclosed promissory note. And before we thought that Genesis owed DCG, there's been some back and forth there. and this has been hidden from potential investors. Now we know why DCG is doing a $1 billion raise, which is getting rebuffed. Grayscale assets are the only assets receiving any meaningful interest. So if Genesis dies, so does DCG. DCG actually owes Genesis more than the $1.1 billion, but they have been asked not to disclose yet. So there's more lies and fraud, this person's saying. And of course, this is just rumor right now, but we will know potentially in the next 24 hours. And that's why I say there's a ticking time bomb for crypto in 24 hours, because DCG apparently was trying to raise this by Monday. Now, if this doesn't get raised, maybe we hear news from Genesis. Supposedly, they were only going to pause withdrawals for 5 days, and that was about 3 business days ago. And they said they're going to pause withdrawals for 5 business days. So we might know in the next few days if they're going to continue to pause withdrawals. This would obviously send a big ripple effect through crypto. And I have actually shorted the market, which I don't typically do. I'm doing that on leverage right now. I'm not telling you you have to or you should. It's going to be a risky thing to do, but I'm using that to kind of hedge a little bit of my bag in crypto as well. I think the cryptos I hold are going to be fine over the long term for the most part, but I am taking a short-term bet that there is a lot of turmoil and a lot of fear over the next couple days. Now, there is some good news. For one, you can sign up with BitGet if you want to do the same thing as me with the link underneath the video. Of course, take the majority of your crypto, almost all of it, off exchanges. I think that's the safest thing, but you do need to put crypto on exchanges if you want to trade. So there is that link underneath the video. They're giving a ton of sign-up bonuses, but there is another good piece of news. Pantera Capital Fund bought Bitcoin for $137 million, with 141 accredited investors, with the minimum being $50K. A week ago, the CEO of Pantera said that the company is expecting a Bitcoin rally in 2024 after the Bitcoin halving. Now, they put this chart on showing the increase that they expect by the next halving, which is a 2.3x increase. They expect Bitcoin to be around $35,000, $36,000, and they're expecting a 4.2x increase over the next year and a couple months after that. So they are expecting a large increase from here, about a 9x or so over the coming couple years. And they are putting some money behind that bet, and they're betting that this is near the bottom if you look on this chart. So that is good to see that there are some large investors that are making a bet on it, but we will have to see. It doesn't really matter at this point if there is more contagion and more companies that go bankrupt and have to unload their bags. That will definitely hurt the market. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will continue to update you on any of the relevant news. Bye.